The alarm was turned in about 10:30 last night after fire broke out in a section of the Hallmark Arms apartments in the 800 block of Hutchins Road. 60 firemen and 15 pieces of equipment responded to the alarm, the first four-alarm fire of the year for the Dallas Fire Department. The firemen were able to bring the blaze under control about 40 minutes after they arrived on the scene, but not before 16 units were gutted, causing an estimated $75,000 in damage. Fortunately, there were no injuries, primarily because the apartments are unoccupied. They've been vacant for more than a year, but this has given authorities reason to believe that the fire was a cause of arson.
We believe this fire at 837 Hutchins Road to be an arson fire, in that all the utilities in the building were cut off, the lights and gas, and we have answered several grass fires and trash fires in and around this area here. And last night, or approximately 45 minutes before this fire broke out, we had answered a grass fire in the building next to it, and the firemen had walked completely around this building, and at that time there was no indication that there was any fire inside the building whatsoever. And it would have been noticed if it had been fire at that time.
And there can be no question that this complex has been the target of someone. Even before the fire, the place was being torn down piece by piece. For example, much of this wall has been destroyed because someone has pulled the bricks out one by one. And it appears that every pane of glass in the complex has been broken. Possibly this was done by vandals, maybe by kids in the area with nothing better to do. But for some reason or another, people have been trying to destroy this place, and last night, someone did a pretty good job on 16 units. Jack Hill, Channel 8 News on the Move.
Last year, as we tried to get 4 new courts in Dallas, we got down to the goal line and suddenly realized we didn't have the ball. That is to say that here in Dallas, at Commissioner's Court, the Dallas County Bar Association, the Commissioner's Court, the Chamber of Commerce, all appealed to the legislature to put such an action on their agenda. Give us 2 new criminal district courts, a new county criminal court, and a new domestic relations court. Well, it got to committee in the 62nd legislature, and that's as far as it got. Today at the Dallas County Commissioner's Court, Henry Schlinger, who is the president of the Dallas County Bar Association, appeared before the court to ask to reaffirm that action, to tell the legislature again we need those courts. This is Henry Schlinger.
The crime rate, needless to say, has increased considerably in Dallas County and in other communities. I think it is axiomatic that a speedy trial and a just trial is the greatest deterrent to crime. This resolution would ask for 3 new criminal courts, as I stated before, 2 district and 1 county, and hopefully this would act as a deterrent to the increased crime rate.
Jim Tyson was absent today. Nonetheless, it was a unanimous vote by the Dallas County Commissioners Court to reaffirm their stand that we need those 4 courts. There are many aspects of this problem. One of them is being checked out by Channel 8's Jim Mitchell. Jim?
The community colleges themselves, particularly in the concept of a comprehensive community college system, namely offering both the academic learnings and the learnings that relate to career, technologies, skills, are blended principally in the community colleges at this time in history more than they are in the high schools or the middle schools of our country, and certainly more than they are in our colleges and universities.
And you're saying a junior college might be one answer to this?
Yes, the junior college or community college, and I use the terms interchangeably, that they have perceived this mingling of goals, namely the intellectual, academic goals are very important and essential, but they need not be wholly dichotomized and divorced from those goals that lead to the world of work.
Well, I think we're considerably better, Jerry. We've gotten a lot better hitting right now, and we're further along. We're, I guess, the best conditioned team we've had here since I've been here.
What is the strength of your 72 Mustangs?
Well, I feel like we're going to get up in there in the top rung somewhere. We're never beaten out here until the 9th inning's over. And our pitching, we have 3 senior pitchers that are in real good shape. And we're going to get a little help out of the sophomores and some freshmen.
Does the schedule favor you any this year?
Well, I hope so. We're playing 33 games here at home, and if we can get home cooking like some of these other teams get at home, we'll be all right.
Who will be the conference favorites, do you think?
Well, you've got to go with the state schools. Texas Tech's improved considerably in the last 2 years, and I feel like they'll give it a run for the top spot. And of course, Texas, the team that's defending champions, always the one you've got to beat, and they're tough. And A&M lost it after the coach last year went to the hospital. I feel like if Chandler hadn't gone to the hospital last year with a back operation, I think A&M would have won it.
Do you have much help from scholarships?
Yes, I'm happy with the scholarship situation here. We have 9 full scholarships, and we have 3 football players that are out and are contributing. And we have the possibility, as soon as the basketball team wins a championship, why we have 2 or 3 of their boys coming out here. And we have some boys on academic scholarships, so we're not hurting as far as scholarships are concerned.
The Concorde aircraft, I believe, would be an excellent passenger carrying vehicle. Although the cabin is somewhat smaller than today's current wide-bodied aircraft.
You're talking about for the purpose of passenger comfort?
Passenger comfort. The speed in itself will make the Concorde a very desirable aircraft.
As you took the aircraft off the ground for the first time, what were your impressions?
First of all, the acceleration was very great by using reheat for the takeoff roll. Acceleration was very fast.
As far as passenger comfort, will they know when they pass through the sound barrier?
No indication whatsoever.
Can you feel it?
No.
Passenger comfort is going to be foremost in the minds of airliners. Do you feel that passengers over a long haul can be comfortable in this airliner?
Very much so, especially for the shorter length of flight stage.
As a captain for Braniff, had you rather purchase the Concorde or had you rather see the United States develop its own SST?
I don't believe I can answer that question fully. I think it's possibly only a matter of time before the United States does develop their own supersonic aircraft.
Well, whose idea was this to begin with?
J-Lo.
Buddy's here.
Right. I heard about this a long time ago, about 3 or 4 months ago. Some guys in Fort Worth did it. And we thought it was a good idea to raise money. A lot of people like to come out and see people that would stay up 100 hours and see what they look like. It's like a dance marathon, watch them beat themselves to death, and give money to this. And we thought it was a very good idea, so we tried it.
Well, what did you do special to keep awake 100 hours?
Now we played pool. We stayed in the basement of First Methodist Church here in Arlington. It had 3 pool tables and a ping pong table. Had color TV, and we just goofed off. We had people from the school come up and visit us. Had adults and teachers, and they just came out there and we had a kind of little party every night.
It was like an all-day party and all-night party. It was fun, you know. We enjoyed it a lot.
Was it fun for you too?
Well, yeah, it was okay. I mean, there was a lot of boys there the biggest part of the time, and that was the only thing that kind of, you know. Anyway.
She liked it.
If there's any question.
Are you going to post bond this afternoon?
It's being posted now.
What is the bond?
Ask the Sheriff's Department.
5,000 each. 3 of them. 5,000 each. Do you have any comments, sir?
Comment.
Mr. Pacifica, did any of this money go to John McKee?
No comment.
Tell me what your reaction is to the charges against Mr. Pacifica this morning.
I can't.
How do you think this is going to affect the hospital fund?
It won't. Thank you.
You won't give us any comment at all?
No.
The people. Has the Scottish Rite retained the shares with the Grand Avenue?
No.
How are you feeling? Are you feeling all right? I need a meal.
That's a question you ought to be able to answer yourself. Study it.
A jury of peers is being assembled today to decide the future of Gus F. Mutcher, Thomas C. Shannon, and S. Rush McGinty. The Speaker of the Texas House arrived this morning at the courthouse, accompanied by his wife Donna and his attorneys Frank Maloney and Richard Racehorse Haynes. Mutcher is facing the first criminal action involving the political aspects of the stock fraud scandal of 1971. The second figure in the trial is Representative Tommy Shannon of Fort Worth, represented by Joe Shannon and Bob Hanna. Rush McGinty, Mutcher's aide, is also accused of conspiring to accept a bribe and is being defended by Dusty Rhodes and Davis Scarborough. Frank Sharp arrived this morning, too. Sharp, the central figure in the stock fraud case, will probably be the state's top witness. Two other witnesses, subpoenaed by the defendants just today, are Honorable Preston Smith and Ben Barnes, who are due to appear Wednesday. 225 notices were sent out to prospective jurors in Taylor County, 3 times the normal amount, Judge J. Neil Daniel told us. In order to save time, they filled out biographical information sheets even before being questioned by attorneys in a courtroom closed to reporters. Everyone involved seems eager for the actual trial to begin and to be over with, though no one's making any predictions. Mutcher and Shannon will also be facing a primary election in just a little over 2 months. For Channel 8 News on the Move, this is Judy Hanna in Abilene. After the excitement of the arrivals of the defendants and the announcements of new witnesses this morning, the conspiracy trial of Gus Mutcher, Rush McGinty, and Tommy Shannon settled down to the business of jury selection. The new witnesses, Governor Preston Smith and Lieutenant Governor Ben Barnes, were called at the request of defense attorneys to appear March 1st. Both names have been linked to the stock fraud scandal, but both have vocally denied any connection with Gus Mutcher's problems. Mutcher could face a penalty of 2 to 5 years if the jury finds him guilty of accepting a bribe on or about July 22nd. But picking the jury itself is the problem at hand now. Out of the original 255 called, 142 prospective jurors showed up. This afternoon, those not exempted were questioned one by attorneys who are faced with the problem of finding 48 qualified jurors. Selection of the 12-man jury may be a 3 or 4 day job, some attorneys are estimating. Meanwhile, surrounded by reporters typing out stories and calling into their editors, District Judge Raleigh Brown calmly arraigned and sentenced a youthful drug offender in the 42nd District Court. That room has been temporarily turned into a press room for reporters covering the more famous trial across the hall. For Channel 8 News on the Move, this is Judy Hanna in Abilene.
We are going to determine what steps can be taken together to make sure that our quality of education is maintained here, that the individual safety of the students and staff is guaranteed, and that Hillcrest High School continues to be one of the best high schools in the nation.
Each cluster has a group of people, representative people of various areas, your staff, etc. Could you explain a cluster to us?
Yes, we have 6 clusters, or 6 large areas where people are meeting. In each cluster, we have a member of the school board, we have a member of my executive team from the central office, we have an ethnic specialist, we have representatives from the faculty, from the students, and the PTA, both black and white. So this is the kind of mix that we have in each group to assist in identifying problems and seeking solutions to them.
They have denied this because they say they are guests. Well, they told several of the parents, am I correct, Mr. Vaughn, that you would have the privilege to speak tonight. However, the agenda that has been presented in all of the different rooms this evening, I don't want to walk out. No, yeah. This was supposed to be an open forum in the auditorium of the gym. And what you've done, they chopped us up in little pieces and moved us out. Well, I don't